Welcome to Stretford, Paddock. We are here with the review of what was an absolutely sensational end to what was a great tie. And I think the view that I've currently been seeing before we've been on the review of Graham Souness in his studio looking like on the verge of tears. Scouse tears gives me so much joy, but before we talk about them, let's talk about what a game felt like. So many different chapters and so many different parts to it, with a very, very fitting end with a player in Diallo, which I think we should address first, who's someone that has almost been ostracised a little bit in terms of not getting opportunities. People saying, does Ten Hag rate him? He's seeing the likes of Mari Forson going ahead of him. And he's come on today and he's played with so much heart, so much fire, and he's shown a mentality that you want from a player at this football club. Because everyone talks about Diallo in terms of his qualities on the ball. He's very technical, very skillful, very easy on the eye. But what impressed me most about him today was the amount of regains that he had. Winning the ball back, fighting, pressing, tracking back. The heart and desire he showed, he deserved that win at the end. And obviously I thought the red card was bullshit, but I had to get out of the way. Diallo, he deserved that, and I thought United deserved to win the game in the end. But my voice have just about got it back. I think everyone's seen us screaming towards the end. I'd like to see what you's made of the game.
Well, I think in terms of Ahmad, what a way to kind of take your chance, really. I mean, you know, there was a lot of talk about him obviously being dropped a bit, but you know, obviously he's not been getting his chance, but he got his chance today, and I think, like you say, he was pressing, he was tracking back, he was winning the ball back, he was creating things, and then he went on to score the winner at the end. He's took his chance today, and hopefully we start to see more of him, because that, I feel like that moment is one of those moments where you really write yourself into the history books at Man United, and we'll remember that forever. You know, we'll remember Ahmad scoring in the very last second of extra time against Liverpool in Klopp's last ever season. We'll always remember that. So it was amazing. What a great end to a great football match.
I think there's for all of Ten Hag's, you know, things he's done well and maybe not done so well, there's no reason to not trust him with how he's managing the young players. The ones he's had to manage have done, you know, he has done very well. And there was talk of Ahmad, I know he deleted some stuff off his Instagram, didn't he? And then he said, oh no, it's because of Ramadan. But I mean, that was not a player sulking, that was a player ready to take his chance. And he was, what an impact. Like, you thought it might just be for a few minutes at the end, but obviously it's ended up being a lot longer. He was the best player, he was our best player.
I'm literally so fucking buzzing at the moment. It's because, you know, it's games like this that make you love football. Getting a last minute winner, extra time, end to end against the rival, there's nothing like it. And I think there's so many players today for United for one of the first time. And I'm not saying by any means that it was perfect. And I think we've come to the conclusion that we aren't going to see perfect football, perfect structure at the moment from United. But what you can see is heart, desire and fight. And I think a lot of players showed that. What I will give Garnacho credit for as well, because he gets a lot of slack, but his engine. That boy sprints from minute 1 to minute 120. And he never slows down. I think sometimes people, to a detriment, you think sometimes he can slow his game down a little bit and be a bit more composed. But it's his work rate and his desire and his fight and his youthful exuberance that ended up getting us the goal in the end, where he sets Diallo up. I know a lot of people have said that the pass was a bit poor, but I do tell people, when you play football and you do go, you've run a lot and you're a bit tired and you do a long busting run, sometimes that final action you can be a little bit.
And you don't want to overhit it in that position.
You want to make sure. But I thought Garnacho, I thought McTominay, for all his faults in terms of on the ball, I thought he battled very well. You got Rashford, he kept going and scored at the end. But that's what I like a lot about this performance, was it wasn't perfect for a lot of it. We saw the same issues with some like gaps at certain times. But what you did see is you saw a group of 11 lads or 14 lads that came on that didn't give up, didn't ever felt like they were beaten. And I think we played at a gear a little bit above Liverpool. Even though Liverpool had some of the better football and the control, I just think we played at a bit of almost like a volume up from him. And I think we deserved the win. And I think no matter what happens this season and how the season ends, I think this is a day that we'll still remember, because winning football matches, winning ties, going further in a competition, there's nothing like it. And I'm fully buzzing.
I think Bruno at the end was out on his arse.
They were all knackered.
Yeah.
Do you know what? I think one big thing that a lot has kind of been of a hearsay comment over the last probably year is probably lack of effort or lack of trying. every single one of the players on the pitch today tried. They gave it their all, and you could see it when they were all limping off, knackered at the end. You know, Bruno played centre back for the last 15 minutes. You know what I mean? Like, the whole team put everything into that game, and Ahmad taking his chance. Rashford, I know he was slightly offside, but that chance he missed. You know, the whole team was just brilliant, and as much as, you know, there was faults in the performance again, don't get me wrong, but beating Liverpool 4-3 in the 121st minute of an FA Cup quarter-final, sending through to Wembley. You know, obviously the draw's coming up soon, so we might say we'll either get Chelsea, City or Coventry. There's a very strong chance that we're still in with the trophy, and you wouldn't have said this the other month. So, you know, performances aren't great, but that's what you live for. Moments like that with a young player coming on and scoring in the 121st minute to send United through against your bitter rivals. That's what you live for.
You're right, there's an opportunity for United to get to back-to-back FA Cup finals, and so hopefully, and even if we don't win, I think you can still, there's a lot of positives you can take today from going forward, and I'm hoping a game like this also gives us momentum in the league where we can go and almost capitalise on the fact that Tottenham dropped points yesterday and we're trying to get top 5 for Champions League football, which is very important to the summer and probably the future in terms of our negotiation and our transfer budget. This is the type of game where you've shown the fans and you've shown what we're capable of when we can actually get a bit of momentum going and we play in front foot. I'm not saying it was perfect, but we're able to beat anyone on a given day. But the only problem is we're able to lose as well. But I'm hoping that the wins come a little bit more frequently. But Tom, before I wanted to ask you a question specifically. There's been a constant murmurings in the background of like Ten Hag and him getting a lot of criticism and whether he's going to survive the end of the season, whether Ineos will keep him or not. How much credit do you think, because we've talked a lot about player performance, how much credit would you give Ten Hag today for the fact that we've won?
I was just going to say about, we've seen so many crises over the past 10 years with, managers where you feel like they're at the end of the road. You don't get that impression with Ten Hag. As much as all the, the talk is naturally going to happen with the takeover, he's got to look at himself. The performances haven't been great, but that today, they're obviously, you get the impression that there is a belief in what they're doing. We might not see it enough. We might not see it put into practice enough on the pitch, but they must believe that what they're doing and what the manager's putting together is worthwhile, because that was, every player today, gave everything for him. And I guess with Ten Hag, it's tricky at the moment because we're not seeing rounded performances. You take the result today, but we're not
moments football.
We're not anywhere near where we want to be. But I like to think there's mitigating circumstances, and I think with the injuries and with the with some of the personnel on the pitch that we would have liked to have think at this point in Ten Hag's project, we might have moved a few players out, brought some better players in. There's been some mistakes with transfers, obviously, but I think overall I'm not disappointed at where we are. This season for me, as much as we might have been going for titles after last year, you thought maybe we could kick on. I just wanted to see us in a good place with performances. And that's something they can kick on from. And
lads, Anthony, he has a right foot. Who knew?
Who knew?
You saw him score the goal when he swiveled. It was very, very good. I thought he was very good when he come on, and he actually did. I'm going to give you credit, Tom, because you said, could you see Anthony play left back? He actually did play left wing back for a lot of extra time, and he was actually fairly decent. But we saw him swivel, use his right foot for once, and then he almost gave him the confidence then, because his very next action, he's gone down the outside and he's crossed with his right foot again, which you noticed.
I know, yeah.
You know what I mean?
I thought Anthony was great today. I thought he was really. I don't think anyone was bad, but Anthony's always got the pressure when he comes on because he's not being great this season. But I thought you could see the confidence in him when he scored. Still made a couple of the wrong decisions, but he was loads better.
He was frantic though, wasn't he?
He's clearly a confidence player, like probably most are. But there was still the odd wrong decision, and it made you think. But he was a lot better than we've seen him in the past.
And we are actually seeing the draw live now, actually, and I've already seen in the chat that we've drawn Coventry next round. So Coventry versus Manchester United will be the next round.
Has somebody pulled our leg, or is that true?
I don't think United have ever gotten the better of draws. We usually always get the more difficult team.
I was expecting City or Chelsea.
We have got Coventry, and I think United have a great chance to go further.
That is confirmed, is it? Yeah.
Yeah, that is confirmed. The chat never lies. Do you know what I mean? And we have drawn.
It's popped up now, so we'll see. But if that is the case, that is a really, really good way. And United should be. Coventry United. We should be getting through to the final.
Yeah.
Really, I mean, it's a really great draw. Out of the four teams in it, the others that we could have faced, Coventry would have been who you picked.
Now I'm going to be hoping that Chelsea beat City, because I think against Chelsea in one-off game, we've got more of a chance. Do you know what I mean?
City.
Yeah.
And
bring them on. I
can't do City again. Well, I might have to.
who would have thought at the end of the season, though, that United now have a possibility with all the issues that we've had of winning the FA Cup? And that is the beauty of cup competition, that no matter what your league form's like, your general form's like, it's all about one game, one tie, and it's about who gets the result on the day. And we've got the result today as well. And we talked about the amount of players that deserve credit. I thought Wan-Bissaka, who came back after being out for a long time, I thought he was outstanding against Salah. Yeah. I thought Salah was awful, and I thought a lot of that was down to Wan-Bissaka's performance.
He's the best 1v1 defender, though, isn't he? And he always gets that
looked
credit.
sharp, didn't he, for someone
really
that's been out for a while?
Who'd been injured for quite a while. Look, every single player gave it their all today, and I think as United fans, that's all you can ask for. And when you go and win it in that dramatic fashion, it makes it all the better. And the rewards clearly shone as well. So, do you know what? I'm absolutely chuffed to bits. And we seen it when we celebrated that goal. It was amazing. And, go and enjoy it. Go and enjoy Paddy's Day, because I wish I was, but go and enjoy Paddy's Day and have and drink, because I know a lot of Liverpool fans won't be right now. Yeah, exactly. I'm hoping. By the way, anyone in the chat, if anyone follows me on social media, anything that you see that involves a Scouser crying, upset, or bothered at the result, please send it my way so I can sleep very, very well tonight. But my only problem is, as Ahmad comes on the screen, we talked about how great he was, and we've obviously mentioned other people that have played well, like obviously Garnacho. You can put Diallo in there. You can put Varane in there with his box defender. Onana was solid as well. You got. I'm thinking my only worry in terms of I don't get to see Ahmad play the next game because he got sent off.
It's disappointing.
Do you know what I mean? He gets sent off. It's a passionate game. I've hated the rule. He takes his shirt off and he gets sent off for a second booking, so you won't get to play the next match, which is a Debbie Downer. But if you go from one youngster to another, a player that we haven't mentioned that was basically almost making us very aroused, I'd say, in the first half, was Kobbie Mainoo. Some of Kobbie Mainoo's ability and some of his bits of play in the first half, in a game of this magnitude where you're playing as a six, you've got so much responsibility without Casemiro in there. What a player Kobbie Mainoo is.
Do you know what? He plays like a player who's been around for 10 years. An 18-year-old who's coming to the setup in a probably less than flourishing Man United team, and he's shown his maturity already. And the fact that he's this good at this age shows he's only going to get better. Like the guy's unbelievable, and I can't wait for him to be in a squad for years to come.
You don't want to get too ahead of yourself with these players, but sometimes you sit like, I don't. Look how good he is already.
That's what I mean.
It's madness. You see these players, and that's why people, let other people say it. We don't have to, but talking about generational talents, because you shouldn't just be able to step onto a pitch at 18 years old with all these and do that, and it shows a maturity and some of them runs in the first half.
Yeah, some of those bits of play, like I feel like it's in that left half space channeling it. I think when Mainoo rounds into where he plays best, I think he's a victim of his own quality, where you can almost like shoehorn him into any of the midfield positions and he can do a job. But I think a little bit further forward, he's shown that he's got the ability to be almost a game changer there.
He'll wriggle out of spaces, you'd give him no chance, and all of a sudden then, you're bearing down on the box, and who was it that played the pass? It was...
He played it to Rashford, and
I'm thinking of the McTominay missed chance. It was his run, didn't it, that unlocked it?
And Rashford caught it back to McTominay, and then McTominay didn't score, and we was almost concerned about it because we thought there was a period in towards the end of the second half, and I kept saying it on stream. We were 2-1 down, and there was a phase of play where Liverpool were playing like they already won the game, and United were almost playing like we already lost it. And I kept going, come on lads, like it's a cup competition. Just pick the tempo a little, because I don't think Liverpool are playing all that well. And they almost looked like they had a bit of arrogance about the way they were playing and complacent and doing this kind of ole football of tippy-tappy. And I just wanted us to nick it. And I thought that's when we scored back. I was like, I felt like Liverpool deserved that for the way that they kind of almost down tools a little bit. That's what I love.
How many breaks, overloads did they have in that game where you just think, for a team like Liverpool, you'd expect them to make the right decision at least once, possibly even more times, and get the goal, kill the game off.
Do you know, if I vomit in my mouth as I say these words, but if I was a Liverpool fan, I'd be seriously disappointed with that team, because in all seriousness, United were there for the taking, and I mean, United battled and fought through, but there was, like you say, there was so many overloads where it was like 3-on-2, 4-on-2, and it was almost like, I think they almost expected to win too much, and we didn't let them. Liverpool should be really, really disappointed with themselves, especially with the whole romanticisation of Klopp leaving and all that. But Liverpool needed to do better.
They didn't put it to bed, did they? And it's
how many? Because
all
on the breakaways, they just seemed to get it wrong because there was still some of the same issues that we have been seeing in the game. Do you know what I mean? We saw massive gaps at times that we were complaining about, and Liverpool just weren't very clinical and creative and incisive when they got the opportunity, and they've paid for it today. I think going forward we still need to eventually fix that, but I think we've won the game. You got to kind of see the positives of it against a team that's been flying. Don't get me wrong, this season they haven't lost many games this season at all. Liverpool, I think they've only lost against Tottenham, the game that they've still moan about to this day, against Arsenal, and I think today. I think that's the only other game that they've lost. So we have to take the credit and we've got to be positive about it. But there are still things that need to change. But I think in the current circumstances, United have come out today with a performance in the entirety that they can be very, very proud of. And getting through, and almost like Old Trafford, I literally wish I was there. I can only imagine what the euphoria was like, because in here it all went off. You can't see, but literally on the floor, I've basically ruined Jay's 10 grand carpet. But it is what it is. I think he'll
forgive you.
I think he'll forgive me for that. But I think we'll leave it there. United have won. I think we can go on the lash, celebrate, be happy, not have our week ruined, as is often the case. We're into the next round against Coventry with a great chance to get to the final and get to some silverware. But United have won the game 4-3 with an Diallo late winner, and we all couldn't be happier. But thanks for staying with us today, because I think it was like a 4.5 hour watch log. It almost felt like with the extra time. It was very, very long. And then you've got the review now. And see you later. My head's spinning.